everyone. Welcome to the Indigo Plateau Show. I'm GhostTypeGhost, and I'm joined with Woodland Docs and Pat Attack. How are you two doing today? What are you pointing to?
I'm pointing to Pat Attack.
Is he below you in Discord?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're all in
above me.
Oh, you guys are in a row on my end.
Oh.
So I'm like,
well, aren't you fancy?
Yeah, I am. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. I have caffeine. That'll be evident throughout this episode. I also enjoy Talking Fast and Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. Ooh, you know what? I haven't had Taco Bell in months, if not longer. I know.
You're not living.
I'm not. Living. I'm not living Moss. I'm not.
Sounds like Doc's had a better day than me. I came home from work, made a sandwich, and here we are.
Not bad.
But I had a good day overall. Can't complain. Excited to start the podcast today with you guys. So, what are we talking about today, boys?
Well, first I have a pro tip for you.
Pro tip?
Yeah,
sure.
a total pro tip. So you didn't get Taco Bell, but you said you made a sandwich. Now, if instead of just placing the bread on top of the bread and meat, if you rolled the bread up, you would have also had a burrito. Therefore, you would not be missing Taco Bell because, let's face it, it's probably about the same quality of ingredients. So just next time, when you think you're just having a sandwich, just roll your bread up and make a breadito. And
a breadito?
Yeah.
But wouldn't the bread just crumble and now I just have a very sad sandwich?
It's up for interpretation. Not everyone's a food critic like you apparently. I for one enjoy falling apart bread. Actually no, when it comes to bread, I have this thing. So you guys, like when you eat bread, does it ever stick to the roof of your mouth?
Yeah.
All the time.
That is the worst feeling in the world for me. If I eat regular bread, like buns don't have to be toasted, but if I eat regular bread, it has to be toasted or else I will lose my mind. I can't do it. As soon as it sticks to the roof of my mouth, I have like a turtle when it's on its shell and it can't get off. That's exactly what I feel like.
A visceral reaction.
Yes.
At least you have soft bread. It's not dry.
So. That's true.
That's true. It's just I'm like that baby turtle, man. I gotta get off, otherwise I'm just gonna bother me. But anyways, well, you asked what we were talking about, and that was actually a really unintended segment when it works. How about we chat on Scarlet and Violet DLC, which involves a turtle?
Docs, you don't have a plushie gun, do you?
I suck at this.
It's okay. Before we get started, I got Gastrodon. Pat, what's your thoughts on Gastrodon? This is very important.
Yeah, this is something
very important.
I actually enjoy Gastrodon.
Okay.
Competitively, Gastrodon is an absolute tank and a true menace when it comes to competitive play.
All right, you're in the right place.
You can stay on the podcast.
You can stay on the podcast.
The pink versions and the blue versions for the different genders, I also do appreciate the variants and stuff like that. I like that Pokemon a lot.
Okay, so. Good answer. I like the pink one personally a little bit more, but Gastrodon, top tier Pokemon. Anyways, move on. We're good.
Back to turtles. We went from slugs to turtles.
Yeah.
So so I guess we'll talk about Scarlet Violet DLC for a little bit. So turtles. And last episode, in case you guys missed it, check out Face Bean. We talked about the new anime protagonists, and that gave us even more info about the DLC, which was a really cool way to do it because they showed the small version. Wow, I sound like I know nothing about Pokemon.
The baby.
They show the basic evolution, or what we assume is the evolution. But I like that they revealed it that way, and I love turtles. So Cherchuga is bad. So if they give me a good turtle, I'll be happy.
Yes, the new turtle is actually called GhostTypeGhost, and he honestly just looks like a crystallized version of a turtle, and he has the different symbols for the energies on his back, and he actually looks amazing. Hopefully his typing is good, but he absolutely looks amazing.
It's every type.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I was just about to interject with was, do you think they're going to do a Arceus Silvally thing where he gets an item, if you give him a held item of a Terra Shard, it becomes that type?
Do you think like that energy boosts for the different Pokemon that you find in the Ground Zero or
Yeah,
the
so
Area Zero?
yeah, I think that will work on him. But I really think, like, Arceus gets the plates, Savali have the drives. I really think they're gonna say have Galapagos. I know that
Galapagos.
have
Terrapagos.
yeah,
Close enough.
which is half Galapagos and half Terrestrialize, huh?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But
Which I see your logic. Anyways,
Continue.
no, I really think that's gonna be the gimmick is you have it hold the Terra Shard, and its Terra type will become that, and then it might be like base Dragon or something, and then when it holds it, it can become a Dragon Fire, and then if you Terrestrialize, it just goes to pure Fire. I think that's gonna be the gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, it's obviously tied into terrestrializing, so its type's gotta change
so
frequently.
do you think for this Pokemon they'll create like some type of thing to where it's like what was the Pokemon in Violet and Scarlet to where you got after beating the Pokemon League and then it had the plates to where it could change their typing? Or
Are
what
you
is
talking?
that?
You mean Sun and Moon? You said Scarlet and Violet.
No, there was the one Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. Oh, I feel so ashamed that I don't know this Pokemon.
Shame.
It
Huh?
changed.
Shame. It changes
Shame.
type?
Anyways, the point being is it would be cool if you guys remember the plates in the old games to where there was different plates that you could make a certain typing for a Pokemon. That was what,
Yeah.
Emerald, right?
There was
Or
Arceus.
fourth gen, so
yeah,
that was
fourth gen, yeah.
Pearl and
Yeah.
Diamond. So the plates with the Arceus to where you can make him different typings and stuff like that, since he has or they have on their shell different like energy symbols, it would be super cool to have like a multitude of items to where whatever plate you give them or whatever specific item you give them, they would become that Terra type. I think that would be super sick. It's a hot take, but it would be super cool.
Yeah, I think that's what they're gonna do. Is they're gonna say hold this shard or hold this X, and it's just gonna become that typing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, it has to. It has to.
Well,
Like, I couldn't see it be any other way.
well, so you know how Savali and Arceus will change appearance based on what they're holding. What
Mhm.
if like you give Turtle Boy,
Turtle Boy.
you give Donatello, the item, and like those parts of his shell raise up, and then like light up or glow or something, and the rest of them go dim. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah,
can see that.
that would be pretty cool. It's kind of like a Bop It, but on a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Electric, fire, ice, water.
That's hilarious.
um,
I can
or
see that.
even better, like so Metronome already just picks a move at random. What if it has like Metronome Terra Blast, where like it just as long as you have that type of shard or that type of whatever in your bag, it can go to your bag and that turn it picks the Fairy Shard. So then it does Fairy Terra Blast, or you know what I mean? Like that would be just useless but cool.
It'd be really shitty, but hey, it'd be cool.
I mean, from a competitive aspect, that would be cracked. So if you're telling me if I have a shard that I'm holding, I could use a metronome to use a specific type of move in that typing.
Yeah.
Broken.
Broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you get to pick the type, or is it just like a random?
Well, like
Well, if you hold a fire or a water or a normal Terra shard, you use metronome and you use one specific move from that typing. That
Got
would
it.
be
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying.
you're gambling, and that would be super dope.
Yeah.
It's like it's a gambler's premium. You might hit them with something that's gas, or you just like I tail whip you.
Yeah, you're going from Ember to Flamethrower. You're going, you're going water gun to surf. It's yeah. And then, if your mon's special or physical, it might pick a physical move and your mon's special built, but yeah. So I don't know, tell me something else about Scarlet and Violet DLC. Tell me
So
something I don't know. Sell it to me. I'm an idiot, which is no different
yeah.
in real life. But
Oh
let's
my god,
pretend
Dax.
I'm an idiot.
What
So
the hell?
obviously we have the Scarlet Violet DLC. We have part 1, part 2. Uh the Iron Mask is going to drop in the fall, and then
The teal mask?
or the Teal Mask, yes, the Teal Mask. And then the second part, the Indigo Disc, is going to drop in the winter.
Indigo
Yes.
disc.
What?
Yeah.
They're fans. Hello.
I know. They totally stole it from us.
Yeah.
So the first part's going to take place in the land of Kitakami, and the second part's going to take place at Blueberry Academy.
Blueberry Academy. I don't know why that's so funny. Kitakame sounds cool, and then Blueberry Academy.
So the Blueberry Academy is actually like a sister school of the Kitakami. All
Yeah.
right. So you go to the Kitakami Academy, and then you're going to go to the Blueberry Academy. The Kitakami is an academy that's like entrenched in like old lore of Pokemon. So they've been around for generations. And Blueberry Academy is like a relatively new academy. They've only been developed in recent years and stuff like that. But however, where the land of Kitakami is more of like an adventure story, the Blueberry Academy is actually going to center around battling. So like that's actually what their primary focus is. So you have one part of the DLC to where you're going to experience lore and stuff like that, and the second part is battling, which I'm super excited about. Anytime you like face like DLC in the campaign and stuff like that, to where you have a battle experience to where if it would progress, like honestly, I want Pokemon to come up with the nastiest teams they can and stick it in a DLC and see beat it. That's what I want
Oh my god.
personally.
Pretty radical. Um
Radical.
I
But
think that like the Sword and Shield DLC was not very fun. So I hope they do better.
which, speaking of, actually what they ended up doing, so you can actually purchase the DLC and you can ask Ghost. It was only $35 in the marketplace.
For which
And
DLC? The Sword and Shield?
yes,
Or
it was. There was an article that came out that said that it's only listed for $35, and if you go to the store, it should be $35. But do you think that because of what they put out in the Isle of Armor and then the Crown Tundra in the previous DLC, it was kind of unfinished? They charged $50 for it. So my question is, are you charging that to compensate for the lack of what the previous DLC was, or is there just less content?
I'm hoping it's the former. Hopefully they're just like our bad. Like here's this better DLC for cheaper price. I'm
Oh,
hoping that's the case.
or it's a sorry we rushed out a 10 FPS game to you. Please accept our apologies in the form of blueberries. So
And 2 DLCs that drop 5 months from now. We got you guys. Absolutely.
Take your
But
time. Take your time
it
on this
does look
DLC.
super cool. So the DLCs obviously are going to be separate depending on what version of or the game you have.
Wait,
The
is it?
DLC
I
is going to be
thought you got both. Like it says
you
part 1 and part 2.
you do get part 1 and part 2, but based on what game, whether you have Pokemon or Violet, you buy the specific DLC for that, because the same with it was with the previous game, to where you have different
Oh,
antagonists and stuff
gotcha.
like that, different storylines. So that DLC is going to be the hidden treasure of Area 0.
Mm-hmm.
So those will be coming to you in the fall and winter. Give me
Blueberry
one
Cat.
second.
The fun fact though, Blueberry Academy is located under the ocean. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's actually subaquatic.
That's
Super
fun.
cool.
okay, way to bring out the vocabulary. Jeez.
I know. He's too smart for us, Docs.
Hey,
Which
you don't like when we go subterranean, and you can't save your game. Ah, see, I know big words too. Yeah.
But anyways, if you decide, which speaking of Ghost, I don't know if you actually did this, but if you actually pre-order the game and the DLC, you get a Hisuian form Zoroark, and you can actually claim that a mystery gift via email.
What? I got the clothes, but I didn't know I got a Zoroark.
Yes, you do. So
Pretty
you can
cool.
actually breed that to give to your friends if you give them an Everstone, because you give them their regional forms to get a little baby Zoroark. So hint hint, if you
Me?
get the DLC, that's what you get to take advantage of. However,
Your friends.
like I said earlier, I wait till the game comes out, so I'm gonna count on Ghost to breed me one. Just one.
I guess.
Uno
I
mas.
guess. Just
Uno
one.
mas.
One
He
more.
has all the power. All the power.
Oh, well,
I'm still
I
waiting on
didn't
my
know that.
Charmander.
Charmander.
Yeah, I didn't get. I never beat that raid. No matter how many times I tried it, and you said
Which,
you had the Charizard. So
speaking of, that Hisuian Zoroark actually gives you a hidden move called Happy Hour. So using Happy Hour doubles the amount of prize money received after battle. So I don't know if that multiplies with like an amulet coin,
I think
but
they stack. Yeah.
so if that stacks, that's also a way to get a lot of money in game for whatever you need it for.
So we all know that Ghost can't read.
What
If he gets,
the? Why am I? Hold up.
if you would have read the terms and conditions, I guarantee you check that little the EULA, you check that little end user license agreement. You're like, I read and comply to the terms and conditions. And then when they're like, hey, get your Zoroark, and you're like, what's Zoroark? So, anyways,
Just because I didn't read it doesn't mean I can't read it. Okay, those are two separate things.
So, but yeah, I mean, so what other mons do we get here? We get we don't, or well, I guess there are some new mons, and then of course they're gonna bring back some old mons. So those new dudes, uh, it's I almost said Leafeon, Virizion, yeah,
Big
the
Leafeon.
Virizion, yeah, big Leafeon.
So we have a pair of legendaries that I'm actually pretty sure are version exclusive. So we have Iron Leaves, which is a paradox Pokemon. It's a grass and psychic type. Um, so I don't remember which version of the game that's for, but
That's gonna
I
be.
guess you'll find out if you pre-order.
It's gonna be
So
Violet. It's gonna be Violet because it's the.
and then you get the Hisuian. You think it's Violet?
Well, it's the future form, so that's got to be Violet.
That's gotta be Violet, yeah.
Okay. That is right. And then we transition to our next mon, who is known as World Wake.
Walking Wake.
So, or Walking Wake, yes, Walking Wake. So, to be honest with you, his form looks like Suicune because he has a diamond on his forehead. The color scheme is very Suicune-ish as far as his mane. He definitely has, the tips and stuff like that, and then as well as the tail. But it also kind of looks like a weird Salazzle.
I like it. It's cool. It's like a dinosaur.
It does look like a dinosaur.
It doesn't make sense.
Like that a lot.
Yeah, I
Stay
like
in your
it.
game, Future Boy.
What'd you just say?
Stay in your game, Future Boy.
I know. I don't.
I get
well,
the dinosaur.
I have Scarlet and Violet. First of all, I just played Violet. Second of all, this is cool. It doesn't make sense for it to be related to Suicune, but it looks cool regardless. So
Yes.
I like it.
And then my bad. Go ahead, Docs.
I was gonna say, and we, so we get those guys, but then we get what I hope is not Pansage, Panseer, Panpour 2.0.
With who?
The monkeys.
What monkeys? There's one monkey.
Oh, they're not all monkeys?
No, one's like a dog, one's a monkey, and one's a bird.
Oh, I thought they were all monkeys.
No. I was like,
that's the new legendary trio that they're gonna introduce. You're talking about Monkey Dory.
yeah.
You're talking about.
Can we talk about those names because they're perfect? We got Okidogi, which is the dog one, Monkey Dory, which is the monkey one, and then Pheasantipity, which is the pheasant. But the names are great.
It's like they hired Ned Flanders for a day, And they're just like, hey, Nettie, can you, come up with some Pokemon names? Okie dokie. And then, hey, look, that's a Pokemon. Like, Ned Flanders the intern, I guess. I don't know.
I love them.
they are pretty funny names.
And if you look, they all have like the same like little scarf or headband or like little like bow on them that has like the same symbol. So it's just a little circle with like two parts sticking out the bottom, and it's cool to see that they transfer that from art to art in like this legendary trio. And it like goes like with like Uxie, Mesprit, Azelf, like how they all were just like different color schemes. But it was cool to see that like similarity through them. So like those are the new legendary trio in this game. And then,
I meant to look it up before the podcast, but these are based off of an actual folklore story.
Is it
I don't remember.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil.
No, those are the monkeys, but
that's why I have monkeys in my head.
Yeah, no, but these, I saw an old picture or artwork with a dog, a monkey, and a bird that has to do with someone with a mask, which ties into the other Pokemon.
The teal mask.
Oh. They're not just random animals. They actually mean something. So if I figure out what that is, maybe I'll post about it. But it's an actual folklore story.
See, that would be cool. We can always cover that later.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know everything. I like to claim that I do, but I thought they were all monkeys, and apparently we're only got one monkey.
That monkey looks weirdly like a bird. I don't understand.
I'll take another look at him. I haven't looked since they were announced.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
so that's the pair of legendary trios we get, right? So what's your thoughts on them?
I like I mean, I like the dog, the Okidogi. I like him out of those three. And then if we're talking about the turtle, I think he's pretty cool. Yes,
which is what you will get in the second part of the DLC. So we actually have that legendary character, and then we have the legendary character that you're going to get from the first part of the DLC, which is Ogerpon. So Ogerpon looks like a grass type, but it looks like a bird. And it has like a little crystal in the front of its head. Honestly, looks super cool. And then with Terapagos, like that mon also looks super cool. So those are the legendaries that you get based on, which DLC is released, the first and second part. And then I actually don't know when we will have access to the legendary trios that we had just talked about being Okidogi, Monkey Dory, and Pheasantipity. So when do you guys think we're going to get those legendary trios?
I think we're going to get Raphael. We're going to get him. We're going to get the baby form straight off the bat in the first part, and then there'll be like an item to evolve it in the second part, or like a place to go in the second part to evolve it. And as far as my not three monkeys, I think that'll be the end of the first DLC.
Agreed. I have no idea.
It's a hot take. It's a hot take.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't have my hotcakes. Throwback to season 1. I don't have my hotcakes.
You never had your hotcakes, Docs. You never had them. Not one time.
Now I'm just hungry.
I can't.
Well, but hold on. Do you guys want to know what's actually confirmed in the first part of the DLC?
By official sources? Or
by absolute official sources.
Okay.
So in the first part of the DLC, you will actually be able to encounter over 230 familiar Pokemon that have been found living in other regions, but which have not appeared since Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They will now appear in the first part of the DLC, so you're unlocking another 230 Pokemon in your decks that you're able to have in-game. So you're widening your Pokedex, essentially. But with Pokemon Home, that also means you'll be able to transfer them in-game. So what's your guys' take on that? Are you guys excited for that? You have 230 new Pokemon appearing in the decks. Pretty cool.
Yeah. For me, it's sign that they are committed to eventually having a complete national dex available on the Switch. Because, it takes work to get the mons in the game, to get them act properly, to get their, to get everything working. So they probably took, let's just say 75% of those 230 were going to exist in Sword and Shield, but didn't exist in Scarlet and Violet, or they existed in RCS as well. And then they might add, a couple of Pokemon that haven't been on the Switch yet. Like, I think that was the big selling point for Venonat. This was the first time that Venonat was in a regional dex since Gen 2.
Venonat? Gen 2?
Venonat.
Gen 2.
It was Gen 2 or Gen 1. Like, Venonat had not been in the regional dex. It's always been in the national dex, if the game's had a national. But in the regional dex, I don't think Venonat's been included since Gen 1 or 2.
That's sad. I like Venonat.
Yeah. So that was a big deal for me, but that tells me that we're making a stride towards having all 1,010 Pokemon on the Switch.
What? That's so many.
That is so many. But I feel
enough.
like I've always wanted the Pokemon Company to make a Pokemon world to where it was just an all immersive like RPG to where you could travel to different regions. Like you had multiple regions that you could get your gym badges in, like being over 9, 10 now. What?
So that's
that would be amazing.
It's sadly never
Absolutely
gonna happen.
It's not. No.
It's never gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
unless one of those radical folks out there design one.
Call it a pipe dream, but I can imagine.
You could
I
dream.
can wish.
You could dream.
I don't know. So I don't think it'll ever happen in a legitimate game, but we'll see what happens. I mean, if they couldn't make one region run smoothly, I don't know. I don't know what they would do, but yeah.
But you wouldn't have to, because you could literally make it to where it could be 8-bit or nostalgic. You wouldn't have to in certain regions run it hard. You could have a region to where it's crisp as clear, and then you go back to original like Kanto and you're in 8-bit. Like that would be. Are you kidding me? That would be amazing. Like you experience Pokemon throughout the generations, and you like experience them in their true form.
The coding on that. The coding on that would be insane.
It would be amazing. I would love to see it.
It would be.
But anyways, so that's pretty much like what we know about the DLC as far as Scarlet and Violet. I mean, you have obviously, if you pre-order the different, like you can get the Hisuian Zoroark with the hidden move, get 230 Pokemon to your regional decks. Then we also introduce 5 legendaries into it. So new legendary trio and then a pair depending on which game you have. So that's pretty much what we know so far about the DLC, and obviously there'll be more information coming out later, and we'll talk about it then.
Yes.
I think that if we went back to old style, that's one of the most interesting ones to see would be our final topic of the night, Gen 3. For the simple fact that we have seen Gen 3 in its original form. We've seen Emerald. We've seen Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby. So we've seen it in 3 different iterations already. So if you got your dream game, I don't know how they make Gen 3 look. What style would they go with? I don't know. But
gotta be the original. Gotta be the original.
I would hope so, yeah. But I mean, so Ghost, I believe you and I are on the same page with Gen 3.
Are we, though?
I thought we were.
Have I been trolling you this whole time?
I don't know who to trust anymore.
So what's your take on Gen 3?
Okay.
Ghost and Docs.
So here's the thing. Gen 3 is the game I started with, okay? I didn't play Gen 1 or Gen 2. I never had a Game Boy. I started with the Game Boy Advance. So it has like a lot of nostalgia for me. I have a lot of good memories with it. However, objectively, well, not, I guess it's subjective still, but in my mind it's objective. I'm not a huge fan of the region in general or the overall spread of Pokemon. Now, don't get me wrong, some of my favorites are in that gen, but as a whole, it is not near the top of my favorite generations.
That's exactly my sentimonies.
Sentimonies.
Simpsons reference for anybody who caught that. But yeah, I'm much the same. I am also with IGN. Too much water. It's very inconvenient to skip an entire quarter, third, fifth, whatever you want to measure it as, of the map by taking a boat early game. Like Mr. Bridey's cool and all that, but Pico, not so much. We've been over this in the Poke Roast, but
It's not a Pelipper.
well,
So
yeah, it's close, but yeah, I mean,
You
like,
hold your tongue about Pelipper.
oh,
I really don't like that you skip a massive part of the map so early. I mean, it's definitely not one of my favorite stories. It's not my favorite group of mons. It's near the bottom for me. It's almost as bad as Sword and Shield for me. So
I will say before Pat, we get into your thoughts. I do like the split evil teams. That I enjoyed. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
That was really cool. But Pat, what are your thoughts on those two games?
I mean, I absolutely loved it, and you got to look at it from this way. You go from playing Game Boy, Pokemon Yellow or Red, Blue, to playing Gold, Silver, and then you go to a Game Boy Advance to where that's the first game on a Game Boy Advance. It blew my mind. It was like, oh my god, this is Pokemon in a way I've never experienced it. So call it like a little bit of a nostalgia blur, but like I absolutely love that game. Like that game actually introduced a lot to what helped Pokemon later on down the road. You had the battle tower. I absolutely love that. And then like on that little island to where the battle tower was, that was the only place you could find a Smeargle. So like I was literally trying to farm a Smeargle there to complete the decks. But that game, the ribbons, I actually quite enjoyed the ribbon concept that they introduced in that game. And there was just a lot of stuff that it brought to the table when it comes to like Pokemon. So like I have an appreciation. I mean, everything has things it could improve on. I love the Pokemon. I don't know. I'm waxing nostalgia right now. I love this game. So
Professor Birch is so forgettable for me. And
Who's that?
Bianca, please.
Bianca?
And no, it's not Bianca. Yeah, that's Bianca.
No, Bianca's in Gen 5, right?
Oh, she's Gen 5. Yeah. What's
So you don't even know.
Oh, wait.
What do you think?
On the wrong chick? Hold on.
I don't know. Describe her. Use your words.
Blonde.
Blonde.
Oh my god, what's her name?
Well, while Docs looks that up, I will say, I think I told this story on the podcast before. So my favorite Pokemon of all time is Gengar. Big surprise. But when Gen 3 came out, for like a split second, Flygon was my favorite Pokemon.
I do enjoy Flygon.
So
Flygon is super cool.
He's the only Pokemon that actually kind of usurped Gengar for literally a second. But yeah, fun fact. I actually really like the whole line.
Yes, I love dragons, and like when Rayquaza like was introduced, because like I only ever played Emerald, so I had access to quite a bit. As they do with that third iteration of most of the games, you have your base drops, 2 different versions, and then same with Diamond and Pearl, you got Platinum. So it was just, I actually really enjoyed the game from the perspective of playing it from Emerald. So I think Ghost, what did you have? You had Ruby.
I did, but Docs I think figured out the person real quick.
May.
Oh, you were just talking about the other.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, May. I knew May.
Yeah, I don't like May.
Anyway, sorry, Pat. What was your question?
So, which version of the game did you guys have?
I had Ruby.
Because I played it from the perspective of Emerald, so I thoroughly enjoyed Emerald.
I had Ruby.
That was my too cool for school phase. But when I went back, when I went back to playing the games and stuff, I bought an Emerald cartridge. Yeah. It was an Emerald card.
Oh, so Docs, you don't really have the nostalgia factor for this game then, because you didn't play. It just that's so weird because this was my very first game, and then at that point you were done with Pokemon. I never stopped, and here's Docs taking a little breaky break.
See, I actually took a break. I never played like Omega Ruby or Sapphire because I took a break then. Just had a lot going on in life, and Pokemon, as much as I love it, I just kind of forgot about it for a little while, you know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's definitely fair.
So Latios and Latias.
That was what I really found cool, was flying on Latios and Latias, and the Mega Evolution being a part of the story. Steven Stone was actually one of the highlights for me from Gen 3, even in the original versions.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a cool character, so having him introduce the Latias Mega, and then the flying mechanic, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. I don't even
Absolutely.
think I got to that point in the remakes. I think I gave up on it. I didn't like it.
But that's your roots. That's where you came from.
I know. I don't know. I think I just played better games since, and I was like, it's like I appreciate it. Like, it holds a special place, but I don't need to be playing it again.
Well, for me, it continued my renaissance of playing the games.
Yeah.
Because like I said in last episode, I bought the special edition X and Y 3DS. So, like when I popped in X, I almost cried, and like it was so cool, so good. So then Alpha Sapphire and Mega Ruby was like a continuation of my renaissance, because between X and Y and Oris, I went back and I bought the games that I skipped, and I played through them all time, like over and over again, because the 3DS had the capability to play DS games or Game Boy games. So,
Mm-hmm.
that was my renaissance, if you will.
We were just going through all the games you hadn't played.
Yep. And I at one point I had a lot of free time, aka college, and I played them all in order, start to finish. It was really cool. What else really like grinds your gears about Gen 3?
Pelipper. No, I was kidding.
Pelipper, yes, Pelipper.
Pat, do you like Pelipper? Because I noticed you said something about Pelipper.
I love Pelipper.
You love like what about it?
It's such a good battle Pokemon because it comes in with the Rain Dance and it's defensively tanky. So like Pelipper does work, and then you give it Hurricane when rain's out, 100% hit rate. Love to see it.
One T-Bolt and that thing is
Bye. Goodbye.
Whatever. Glass cannon. It's fine. I'll give it an assault vest. That's fine. It can take a hit with an assault vest. That's cool.
I mean,
but I love Pelipper because like I just have so many times to where like I have a rain team to where like I have like a Barraskewda with like Swift Swim, so like when rain's out they gain a speed boost. So just like all kinds of Pokemon that basically get an advantage from that, and it's like so crucial to have like somebody that can like set the field, whether it's like sunny day or rain dance or anything like that, whether you have a rain team or a sun team. So I love Pelipper from the perspective of I've battled with him and he's a beast. So
while we're on the subject of Pokemon, what are some of your favorites and least favorites from the gen?
It's not my favorite group of starters, I'll say that.
I will say, so I was thinking about actually relatively recently, I'm like, I don't know if I have like a favorite starter. Like, how everyone has their absolute favorite. I think I'm just gonna have to pick Torchic. Like, I'm just gonna have to settle, just because he was my first Pokemon ever. Like, come on, like he has to be, right?
I mean, my first starter ever was actually, I had yellow version, so it was Pikachu. But then once I picked up the abandoned Bulbasaur, I considered that my first starter, because then every time that I played an iteration of Kanto after that, I just picked Bulbasaur. So.
Yeah. So he's also very cute. I mean, I do like him. I don't like Combuskin. Blaziken's pretty cool. Don't like Combuskin. But otherwise, Pat, what about you?
I always went with Blaziken. Yeah.
It's a good pick. I also
Mudkip's cute, Triaco's cute, but like, yeah.
I'm also a huge fan of Sableye. I would say, depending on my mood. I know you don't like Sableye. Okay.
Sableye's garbage.
No, he's cute. I love him. I actually like Grumpig too, which is
The shiny
random
version's
one.
dope. All gold.
Yeah, and the gem's green too, isn't it? Or something like that. Hold on, let me see.
I don't know that one.
Yeah,
Sableye? No, it's Sableye.
his big stone.
Yeah, his stone is green, I think. Yeah, it's green.
Yeah. I like Grumpig and what's baby Grumpig?
Spoink.
Spoink. Yeah, Spoink. I love Spoink actually.
I feel bad for it, honestly.
If Spoink stops bouncing, his heart stops.
I know, it's terrible. Why would they do that?
Is that the actual Pokédex entry?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
If it stops
That's
bouncing,
like-
it dies.
That's like Driftblim lures little children away and like
Yeah.
floats them to the afterlife. Like terrifying.
It's very
Absolutely
dark.
terrifying. Like,
Spoink reminds me of my dog Ned. If he's not emitting love, he's gonna explode and die.
Oh,
So he's
Netty boy.
a good guy. But oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, can we talk about Gorbis and Clamperl and what Huntail? I forget they even exist half the time.
yes.
I'm like, what
Did you guys have an episode of most forgetful Pokemon?
Yeah, they were probably on that,
Absolutely,
honestly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Any others that we can't stand or forget about?
Poochyena. I don't care for Poochyena.
Now I love Mightyena. I was just gonna say on the opposite side, I love Mightyena.
I was gonna say I like them. They're dog-like, so
Yeah, well, and plus they get the elemental fangs, so I love that. Like, I love anything that gets access to elemental moves. Actually, you know, I think about it. If anything, you know, can get the punches or the fangs, I really enjoy those mons.
That is true, but stats are trash.
yeah. Well, see, one thing you'll learn real fast with me is I never come from it at an angle of battling. I'm like, that Pokemon looks nice. I like it.
Well, it does look nice, but like for me, it's like it's a forgettable Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that I catch and I say, okay, and you sit in the box.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to use it. So by that standard, yeah. But, you know.
Even through my playthrough, I'm not going to have a Mightyena on my team unless I'm like, okay, I'm specifically going to have this Pokemon on my team.
Yeah.
You know what I do with Mightyena? I use Thunderfang on Pelipper.
Wow.
You want to know what? He would tank it because Mudyena's stats are trash. So
I mean,
no.
and like, so I like most of the mons aren't at the top for me. Even the gym leaders are forgettable.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Although I will
that
say,
actually is true.
one of the gym leaders is your dad, so that's pretty unique.
Yeah.
I mean,
Norman. Okay, but then again, he's a normal type gym leader, so is he even really a gym leader?
hey, you know what? Larry is a normal type gym leader, and we all like Larry.
Everyone loves Larry.
Okay.
You guys ever hear the fan fiction about how Giovanni is Ash's dad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's also a normal type, kind of.
Yeah, kind of.
I thought you were gonna say how Giovanni became Larry in retirement. And I'm like, whoa.
We could go down that rabbit hole too, but
well, yeah. I mean, I'm not too fond of the generation as a whole. I can't get behind too much of it. I don't know.
There's berries. We like berries, Knox.
We did a whole berry segment.
We did a whole berry segment just to appease you. So that game introduced berries. So if one thing you could take away is that.
Is berries.
Truth be
that's
told,
what I was saying.
Yeah.
That game introduced a lot.
it did.
It did.
I will say, I did like planting I like the idea of tending to like the berries, like in a farm situation, but I would plant them and I forget about them. So there wasn't like any good way to do that, in my opinion.
But it was like a nice little surprise because you came across them later and you were like, oh
Oh my
played
god,
this.
berries.
That thing that I did like forever ago. Huh. I guess, but that'd be sick, in my opinion. I like farming simulators, not gonna lie. If they could incorporate that into Pokemon, that'd be nice.
I mean, honestly, one of the items I used to like farm there was the Enigma berries because it gave you that, like the chortle and stuff to where if you get hit by a super effective attack, it like reduces the damage. The Enigma berry did all of that to where it didn't matter what your Pokemon got hit by, it would just tank a super effective attack. That was absolutely wild item they introduced into that game. And like just in general, like with the berry plantings and stuff like that, and like different items, I just feel like Gen 3 brought a lot to the table, including like the battle towers, which kind of paved the way for like online competitive gaming and stuff like that, and battles between your friends.
Yeah,
I just feel like it really did bring a lot.
it did.
But
I just the execution left something to be desired, personally.
It 100% added long-lasting things to the franchise. I just didn't have a blast.
Right.
So.
And Docs, to your point, when you said too much water, like I 100% agree, because towards the end of the game, I'm like, I do not want to be traveling in this. I always got lost too, so I was
that's what I was just getting ready to scream,
I
because
got lost.
like on the original hardware, you did not have a good map system to show you where you were in the water and where you needed to go. So.
absolutely. I mean, especially when you were trying to find like Kyogre in the end game and stuff like that, and the islands, like the underground temple and stuff, or the undersea temple, to where you had to go find them. You had to have a Pokemon that knew dive. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. I will agree with you on that. It was a lot.
So many repels. So many, like I hated walking in the grass like on land, and so water is just like 100% tall grass, so it's just like this is my least favorite part. So
but I don't know. I will wait to play Gen 3 for a very long time because I've got my fill. So
yeah.
I'm not going back anytime soon.
I'll finish it one of these days. You just wait.
I can't wait for this episode to be uploaded to Facebeam.
Oh my god. This is your way of wrapping up Facebeam?
I was just talking about Facebeam.
Oh my god. Well, real quick before we go to Facebeam, any final thoughts, Pat, Docs, on Gen 3?
It was a generation I loved, but you guys made some valid points. There was stuff to be desired.
My hope.
Nah, I mean, it was a game that introduced a lot, and like anytime like something paves the way, like there's bound to be mistakes. It introduced a lot, and it also had its flaws, so it's a mixed bag. But I thoroughly enjoyed that game because, like I said, it introduced a new aspect of Pokemon for me that like I'd never experienced. So I give that game a thumbs up. I enjoyed it. There's
like,
stuff that could be worked on it, but we're in 2023 and there's still stuff about Pokemon games that could be worked on. So
oh yeah, a ton. So, but as Docs was saying, Podbean, you could catch us on Podbean, that app, as well as basically anywhere else you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, all that fun stuff. And the video version will be on YouTube, so you can always check us out there. And yeah, with that, after this episode, the next time you hear from us or see us, we should be live. So on a Thursday, we'll of course let everyone know when that is on our social media. We'll be posting more on those shortly. So yeah, with that, we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.